Okay, awesome.
Constantly wanting to see.
Okay. All right. So, Rich, Twinkly has been around for a number of years. You guys are, I mean, growing not just in the United States, but I think internationally, you guys are getting pretty big, right?
That's right. Yeah, we've got full representation all over North America, South America, all over Europe and Asia. It's just gone crazy since 2016 when we started.
Right. So Twinkly, let's see here. I'm going to turn this up a little. Okay. So I know a little bit about Twinkly. I've installed it, Twinkly Plus, but I think almost anyone that is used to Twinkly is used to the Twinkly Plus.
Mhm.
So Twinkly at the end of last year, I was on the phone with them and they're explaining to me they got a new product. It's called Twinkly Pro. And so it was about September-ish, I think, last year when you got the controllers for Twinkly Pro. And you're explaining to me about them. And I was pretty interested because it really addresses some of the problems that I felt like Twinkly Plus had.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like a lot of, especially like our community is mostly residential installers.
Mhm.
And so in general, Twinkly's been a commercial product and hasn't been real big amongst residential installers. But I think part of it was the Twinkly Plus. I think it had a little bit of limitations, but I think the Twinkly Pro really fixes a lot of the problems that the Twinkly Plus. And honestly, I don't think a lot of residential installers know that there is a different version of Twinkly out there now that is much more intuitive and easier to use. So can you explain to me some of the big differences that make it a lot easier to use than the Twinkly Plus that most everyone's familiar with?
Sure, sure. Actually, other way around. We had the Pro for the last several years. Guys who have used it may remember the old Wi-Fi controller. This little guy here. You could buy this controller and plug in a string of lights to it, and you'd be up and running. You could buy a splitter, and you could run 2 strings of lights on one controller. That was pretty cool. You connect to the home's Wi-Fi network, and it was, pretty slick. We also had this other controller, this big 6-port controller, which was just hardwire only. So you had to get a hardwire Ethernet cable back to the router. And we use that more for larger commercial projects or sometimes on residential jobs where the lights and the objects were too far away from the router to gain access and to have a connection. And it really became confusing after a while. At the time, for several years, we had these Wi-Fi controllers and a single port with a splitter. We had a 4-port Wi-Fi controller. We had the 6-port Ethernet controller. We had RGB lights, RGBW lights. We had WW lights. And it just became confusing for that core market. Core market of guys just like, all the people that are tuning in here today. And that is people who are doing a lot of residential work, but they want it to be good quality work. They want to set themselves apart from the competition and maybe doing a few smaller, commercial projects along with it. And so what happened was we streamlined the entire product line to satisfy the overwhelming majority of our market. And that was these installers that are just like your guys here today. And we launched Twinkly Plus at the end of last year. And Twinkly Plus is the culmination of a few things. First, it does it all. It's one controller. You don't have to worry about, do I get the Wi-Fi? Do I get the Ethernet? The Plus controller has 4 ports. So with our product, that's going to be 1,000 lights, 250 lights per string. It'll connect to that home's Wi-Fi network through a Wi-Fi signal, or if you want to, you could run an Ethernet cable. So we've got an Ethernet pigtail on the back of each controller. So one controller does it all. No more wondering which one is going to be best for the job. One controller and done. The other thing we did was we streamlined all the pixels. Do I need RGB? Do I need RGBW? Everything in the Twinkly Plus line is RGBW. That's what our customers want anyway. They want to be able to have these great moving live effects, but they also want to be able to dial and just have that beautiful warm white for those more elegant settings. And so everything became streamlined. Not just with the product line, but with the ease of use for the customer. So if you ever used our product before, you'd know that once you downloaded the app and loaded those old controllers into the app, you had to do a little bit of configuration to sort of tell the app and to tell the controller what kind of lights you had plugged in. Maybe it was a curtain set of lights, or maybe it was a regular string, or maybe it was a C9. You kind of had to program all that in there. And if you didn't, then the lights wouldn't work well. It wasn't that they didn't work. It's just that you kind of had to have a little bit of know-how to get it up and running. And so with this new Plus device, the beauty of this is you can plug in curtain lights. You can plug in our new S14s, which are beautiful. I'm going to show you here in a little bit. You can plug in a string light. You can plug in icicle lights. It doesn't matter. This controller will automatically detect the type of lights that you've plugged into this controller, and it will automatically configure everything. So if you've never used our product before, it's just going to be real easy. You're going to load it up and it's going to be there ready for you to use. If you have used our product before, you're going to notice that a lot of that configuration and sort of that clumsy startup is gone. And it's just a real easy way to set up a product very simply, very easily with great prompts, and in a matter of minutes, get legitimate pro level moving live effects and colors on your home as if you had paid a professional for it.
Well, so what I remember about Twinkly Plus is, so Twinkly Plus is the new one, right? Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. What I remember about Twinkly Pro is I always had to get the right controller and then trying to get them to pair, and you can only put 2 strands on the controller. So we sold a ton of, I mean, not a ton, but we sold quite a few of them to people. They'd have projects and they'd buy 4, or we'd call them a Twinkly Pro starter pack, but they can only have, it was 125 bulbs, right? Or 2 sets of 125. Was that what it was?
250 per string. And that didn't change, but we did find that while we were going along, that little single with 2 strings on it for 500 lights. And then we had the 6-port, so that was 1,500 lights possible. We found that 4 strings, 1,000 lights, was a really great sweet spot for a lot of the common structures that you're finding in these residential and some light commercial projects. Whether it's like my house, I have 5 large bushes in front of my house, and 2 strings of lights just isn't enough. 4 makes it look like something, right? Small deciduous trees, those 15 to 20 foot kind of thin trunk deciduous trees, branch trees. 4 is great for those. Palm trees, 15 to 20 foot palm trees. You want to get a really good dense look. All these types of structures, 4 strings of lights was a sweet spot for a lot of it. And now you can do it with just 1 controller.
So the big thing, so the controller though, you can just plug in the light. What stuck out to me is I don't have to tell the controller if I got a short light string or a large light string. Like I just plug it in and it senses what I just plugged into it. Like if I'm putting in icicle lights, or if I'm putting in the S14, or if I'm putting in icicle lights, I think are huge. You guys have icicle this year.
It's a huge deal. And it wasn't that it didn't work. It was just that, I would say probably 90% of the service phone calls I would get, or the support phone calls I would get, would be, hey, I've got 2 strings of lights on a splitter with my Wi-Fi controller and only one of them lights up. One of my light strings is bad. And I would say, well, let's go to this configuration page. And you'd scroll down, okay, LEDs, 250. How many active ports do you have? And it'll say 1, but you're actually using 2. And as soon as you clicked on 2, boop, both lights would light up. And so easy to fix, but still a pain in the neck for the customer, right? We don't want to have to go through that, because by the time they call me, they're frustrated. They're trying to get their lights working. And now that's gone. That headache is gone. And we will eliminate probably 85% of the support calls we get, because it's just going to light up and be beautiful.
So that's why I think any contractors that have had experience with Twinkly, okay, how can I remember?
Pro is the old one, right?
Okay, Pro is on the go. It's out. So our company, Christmas Light Contractors, is not stocking the Pro anymore. We are moving to Twinkly Plus. It is a much better version, I think, for the contract. Not that Twinkly Pro was a bad product. I'm just an average contractor when it comes to the install business, and I felt it was too complex. Like I had an installer that was pretty good at Twinkly, so I let him in charge, and we had Twinkly products that he would install it, because to me it was just like you'd have to hook into the Wi-Fi, try to get the controller to sync into the Wi-Fi, because if you had a bigger install and you had to have multiple ones, like it was pretty complex. But Twinkly Plus, that is now, that I think that takes it all away. Now I've done a little bit on my house now, And to me, the experience was a lot easier to, I put the S14s and you just take a picture with your phone and it memorizes where all the lights are. And then you can tell it, you can just say, hey, I want to do candy canes along that, which is just.
I can show you some of that. The cool thing is that, and I just got a little wall here, along with the updates with the app and the advancements in the controller. One thing it's important to note, this plus category really is the future for our product. It's going to be where the new advancements come. It's going to be where we make it, larger and bigger features and everything. But that other product is still a viable product. We still have it. We still support it. So you guys out there who have customers who have those Wi-Fi controllers from the past, it's still a perfectly viable product. It will continue to work. It'll keep getting firmware updates and it'll run just the same. But this new product, if you've got a customer who you're starting from scratch, you definitely want to start them with the Plus. It'll be a much easier ease of use for you. But just like the other Twinkly products, it uses the same exact app. Once you load it up, you're going to be ready to do the thing that makes our product special. You'll hang your lights up however you want. You'll take that scan with the phone or the iPad, and it will blink, 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 blink for about 3 to 5 seconds, and you'll instantly pixel map your object. It can be a simple 2D object. You can do 3D objects, 50-foot tall blue spruce trees. It doesn't matter. We've got mapping capabilities for all of that. And then it's really as simple as this. And I encourage everyone that shows this product to do this with their customers. I've got some curtain lights here hanging on my wall, which are great. It's just a horizontal lead wire with vertical lines hanging down. I got it on a little red, white, and blue, just a little bit of glow for the Memorial Day to 4th of July holidays here. But if I want to change it, all I've got to do is go in here and pick one, and it'll be there instantly. This is the magic of Twinkly, getting that iPad or iPhone into that customer's hands, letting them touch and swipe through and instantly change effects. This is the magic of our product. There's not another product in the world that can do it like this, the way we do it. This one's called Vertical Flag. I want to show you real quick. Maybe I don't like red, white, and green. I want to do red, white, and blue for Memorial Day. I'll touch a button or two, and wow, right there it is. Maybe I want to speed those stripes up. I'd slide a button and speed them up. Maybe I want to make those stripes a whole lot skinnier. I just slide a button and make them skinnier. Maybe I want them to be fatter. I'll slide the bar on there and make them real big and wide. All of that instant ability to customize your object is what makes this. That little bit of customization I just showed you in 30 seconds would cost hundreds and thousands of dollars for a legitimate lighting designer or programmer to come out and do, whether it was using a product or a protocol like DMX ArtNet, which we also have integrations for, or other lighting protocols. The ability to do that instantly right here on your phone is what keeps people hooked on the product. They'll sit there. I've been doing this 5 years. I still sit here when new effects come out. I can't wait to see them on my wall and see how it's going to look. It's just a great thing.
So like at my house, we have the S14s, which is like bistro lights, patio lights, whatever people want to call them. And then I think we're going to do some trees, and we're going to do probably some icicles, and we're going to pair them all together. And I want people to see how easy it is where you pair them all together, and you could just do the same patterns that are right behind you across my whole house.
And I've got a set here I'll show you, because I think this S14 product, we used to have a product called Festoons, and some of the guys will remember that. It was a similar type of lighting, but it was round. It had a frosted bulb. It was the right idea, but quite honestly, it was probably the wrong aesthetic. It didn't have that sort of vintagey feel that I think is really right for this type of lighting. And so now I've got, sorry, I'm banging them around here, but now we've got the S14s in that traditional elongated clear acrylic lens. These S14s are stunning, 65.5 feet long. I have them on my own deck. I sit out there. I've got a simple, easy, kind of flowy nighttime colors like on the wall here, and it sets off the fire pit in the deck like you wouldn't believe. It is absolutely gorgeous. And the reason that this product is so important is because it's the perfect sort of gateway product to Twinkly. It's something that people are familiar with. They see it at restaurants and bars. They see it in outdoors down Main Street. A lot of people buy just the plain warm white ones and that kind of thing. But to have all the power of the Twinkly effects gallery at your disposal for your S14 or your bistro bulbs is really something. When I put mine up at the beginning of the year, And I've had them for every season. We turn them green for St. Patrick's Day. We turn them red for Valentine's Day. I've got them red, white, and blue on Memorial Day. And I've got them just doing, like I say, some easy, flowy colors while I'm sitting out there having a cigar and enjoying the fire pit. It just sets it off great. And the people who have that are going to be primed for that holiday season when it's time to hang the icicle lights and the string lights.
Yeah. So like right now, what are you seeing? Like what is the hottest product that people are buying right now? Because a lot of our guys that are just Christmas light guys in our group, but are you seeing any of this that people are installing like right now in the summer months?
Yeah, string lights are it's the hardest thing I think for a lot of lighting guys to get their head around because of the capabilities, the customizations, the ability to change the lights with the seasons and the holidays. This really becomes a year-round lighting product. You see it all over the place. You can wrap trees with just basic white lights. You can do the same thing. People are doing it in their residential areas as well. So the string lights are great, even if people just want to have warm white twinklies or sort of a glowy thing like I've got on my deck. Some people will do, and the string lights would be, wrapping your branch trees, maybe just running underneath the deck railing, that kind of thing. Curtain lights also very popular, especially people who have maybe fenced in yards with pools and the wooden fence. It gives you a nice tall surface to hang a panel of lights and to do some really cool things. Obviously the S14s and the Bistro lights are something we're doing great right now. But some of the coolest combinations really come from products like icicle lights and string lights. And being able to wrap, like I use my house as an example because I do it. I wrap those 5 bushes with string lights, and then I put the icicle lights on my gutter. And the beauty of this product is with a touch of a couple of buttons, we can make colors and patterns move together, icicle lights and bushes, whether it's from left to right over the entire property, or we can synchronize them. Or maybe you want to do something different up top and something flashy down low, whatever you want. All of these products, even though they might be a different bulb, will work together and synchronize beautifully.
So guys that are watching this that are into residential installs, so I tell people all the time, they're like, well, what do I do to market? Well, okay, in your own little area, if you don't have any practice, do your own house, take videos, put it into your local Facebook groups. But I think if you put Twinkly on your house, make some pretty cool videos, and you share that with some of your local mom groups and community forums and stuff. Not right now, but if you start to do it close towards the holidays, that will set you apart from all the other installers that don't want to put the time. The thing is, you're not going to throw Twinkly. You're not going to figure this out in November. It's kind of too late. Like, this is something you got to start planning now, thinking about this stuff, starting to learn how it works, get comfortable with it. Because once you're comfortable with it, you're going to be able to, like, I don't do a ton with Twinkly. That's why we're doing a training in 3 weeks. Rich is going to be up here in person. We're going to actually do some of my house. So that's actually a question I have. So at my house, I have Wi-Fi, but then I have a Wi-Fi extender. So we just did a in-person training we were using Twinkly, and we were on the phone with you. You gave us tech support, and we fixed it. But the real issue was their extender was not the same password as their normal Wi-Fi. So do you recommend having Wi-Fi when, like, I guess if you, so we actually called another tech support person. They said, well, the problem is you install the Wi-Fi yourself, your Wi-Fi extender. If you have Comcast or someone professionally install the extender, they're always on the same network, the same pattern. Can you fix that? Is it very easy, or do you recommend that someone has like Wi-Fi with all the extenders all tied in, or do you run into problems when you have Wi-Fi extenders?
We don't run into a whole lot. I mean, we're pretty good. And the good news is, we answer the phone. We do a couple of things that we pride ourselves in as the manufacturer. One is we're perfectly happy, primarily myself, perfectly happy to do a one-on-one Zoom meeting to train anyone who buys this product for their customers, whether it's the installer who wants the training for the setup and how to program, or it's the customer that was sold to, and you want to just show them how to work the app and all the different capabilities and things they can do. Perfectly happy to do it. There's no charge for that service. We're happy to do it because we know that when people understand how to use the product, they're going to be a lot happier with it. The second thing is we answer the phone, and we understand that, especially from November 1st to December 25th, you can't just take a long weekend and and go golfing. You got to answer the phone. Guys are in the field. They're face to face with customers. We understand that. And so if you run into a little problem and you glitch, you can't get something working, you give us a call. I promise you, if I don't pick up, I'm going to if I'll text my support manager and he'll call you back. We always answer the phone to make sure you guys get the support you need. But the best thing to do is to do these trainings, to get a one-on-one, to come to the trainings that are put on by Fred and his guys, so that you can learn about it ahead of time and have a great season.
So we're going to actually be filming parts of it, so that way we can send it to people if they're having questions. But I feel like if I get a little bit more comfortable, I really do think Twinkly's, the little bit I've been playing around with it, it does, I think, fix some of the main hesitations I had with it a few years ago. So I don't think you're going to have to be like super like techie to understand the Twinkly Plus lineup. I think it's much more intuitive.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's the idea. You know, we started this product in 2016 on the retail side. I mean, you guys may have seen it. You'll go out to Best Buy, or this year you'll see it in Kohl's and Target and Walmart. And this is our retail product line. It's a product that homeowners can walk into a big box store and buy. It's a lesser product. It's IP20 or something like that. And some of it's indoor only. Some of it's just lightweight outdoor. But it was designed so that anyone could pick it up off the shelf without access to somebody like me or Fred, and be able to set it up, map it, and do all this cool stuff within a few minutes. And so the Plus and the Pro follows that same thing. So it's very intuitive, very easy to use.
So the stuff that people are getting at like Bed Bath & Beyond and the big box stores, it is the same, but not really. It doesn't have near the functionality of the Twinkly Plus.
Not nearly. First of all, the IP ratings are much lower across the board. Some of that product is indoor only. Some of it is outdoor, but maybe only good for a season or two. Also, all of that product is going to be one string of lights to one controller, all one piece. So whereas with the Plus line, I can run up to 4 strings of lights on a single power supply, right? So it's a far more scalable product. It's
do they network as easily when you get them from like a big box store, or do these ones network?
There's limitations on the retail product. You can only put so many together, and that's a problem, especially when you have one controller to one string. You can only put so many controllers into a big group of lights. With these Plus and Pro products, it basically eliminates those maximums, and you can do whatever you want. The other thing is 2-year warranty on all of this Plus product. Retail product is only 1-year warranty. So 2-year warranty on it, full IP65 rating on all Twinkly Plus products. We've beefed up all the connections over the last couple of years, even adding screw down caps for the ports that may not be used, so you can keep those watertight. Beefed up the connectors with screw down caps. Everything is solid. We include, if you wanted the hardwire installation, you're going to get a Ethernet connection, so you can do a male to male end connector and run your longer Ethernet. This is IP68, so very rugged, very durable, and meant to last, meant to go season after season after season.
Well, so yeah, that's why I'm doing the training here in July. I mean, I could do it later in the year. We are going to do one later, but I need to understand the product better, because when I'm talking to all these estimates that I've given, I want to know what my options are going into this season, and I want to be familiar with the product. So I would recommend, if anyone I think that this is going to be a changer, and I think it's not even just the Twinkly Plus. I really feel the little bit I've seen of it really does fix a lot of the problems that I didn't really like about it before. It was just, but what I really like is they got some stuff that's in the pipeline that really is going to revolutionize the whole industry. And I mean, I'll just say it, that it's probably not going to be a this year thing, but there's still potential that all the permanent lighting jobs that we're doing, you can just literally take the Minlian controller off and put the Twinkly controller on. And now the roof line will sync in with all these mini lights. So that's probably not going to be a this year thing that we're working on trying to make it happen, but it looks like it's close, and they are working with it, but they don't want to launch it until all the bugs are worked out. But but when you can finally tie in the roof with all the groundwork, you can sell the roof line and then come back for the holidays and put up all the bushes and trees, and then take the bushes and trees down for like commercial, but leave the roof line year round. And the custom, I mean, the Twinkly is the greatest product in the world for commercial, like taking the photos and mapping. There's nothing like it. So when you bring that into the permanent lighting world, I think it's going to just totally, I think that it's going to, if you understand the product and get well versed with it now, when it finally is ready to be unrolled, you're going to be way ahead of the market, because none of the other permanent lighting companies are going to be able to hang even close with this, because this is huge. When you can tie Twinkly in with the roof line, it is, it's a year-round product at that point. I mean, the roof line's year-round, but then you could bring in all the other festivities for, if you want to tie in the S14s, the Bistro lights, which I got them hanging in the background. I don't know if you can see them there, but I got them in my own backyard. They're really cool if you're entertaining people. But
that's the idea. I mean, I've got these lights up. I have them in the big front bay window of my house with, the sheer curtains in front of them. And I just put on whatever the lights are. Sometimes it's just a warm white, kind of a glowy thing. Sometimes, like right now, it's red, white, and blue. And sometimes if it's, football Sunday, I got green for my Eagles. And, it just depends on the season and what's going on. But it gives people a lot of flexibility. I mean, it's a product that has really come along in residential living, outdoor living. This type of lighting is very popular. So you're going to see people put up a ton and do a little Clark Griswold imitation during the holidays. And then maybe they take it down, but they're going to leave a couple of things that they just say, you know what, that'd be nice to have all spring too.
So how does it work? You guys also sync with music now, which I think it came out a little bit last year, but every year you're advancing that, you can just put a little plug in that makes it sync with music now, correct?
It's very cool. And I'll show you here. So we have a product called, this is so great because I think the full retail price is like $30 on this. This is the Twinkly Music dongle. Basically, you plug it into any USB port somewhere near your speakers so it can hear and listen. It needs that for power. You'll load it into the app the same way you do all the other controllers.
Now you're loading it into your app, okay, but you're plugging it in like your computer?
You'll make it discoverable and you'll find it through the network. And in your app, there's a tab for music. Now in that music tab, I don't know if you can see it well, but there's different themes here that you can choose from. This one says dance, classic, ambiance, fluo, something or else. These are just different lighting themes. Some of them are going to look flashy and dancey. Some of them are going to look just sort of glowy and chill and sparkly. So depending on what you want your lights to do. But each one of those themes will cycle through a handful of effects that are down here at the bottom. The effects are preset, but the way that those lights get displayed is based on volume and rhythm and pitch and intensity. So for example, I've got it set to music now on my wall, and you can see it's going through a series. I don't have music playing, so it just kind of looks like preset effects. But you'll see that if I stop talking, the lights went black, right? So it is legitimately listening. If there's certain patterns and things that it's going to follow, it will follow. And I'll put on one here just to give you an idea. And you can see that flash. I don't know how it's transferring. If there's a lag or not in the display, but it's going to bounce and change in real time, in real.
But yeah, if you put that on a tree or a bush or side of a house.
Yeah, there's VU meters. There's all kinds of stuff. So it could be something, like you say, people do this with their S14 lights on the patio when they're having a barbecue. And it just play music and the lights kind of just, dance a little bit. Or during Christmas time, you could have curtain lights across the front or on your bushes or on your icicles. And all of this is going to happen because you're playing Jingle Bells on a loudspeaker,
Okay, so like for the training we're having up in Connecticut, do you think I need to set this all up before you get here, or this is something we could do, like put it all on my house? Like I have the S14s already up with the cables and everything, but let's say we're going to do some bushes and do some icicles, like 50 or 100 feet of icicles. That's all in my little area back there. Yeah. Do you think we could get that done in 2 hours and get it all networked, or is that going to be?
Honestly, the hanging of the lights is going to take far longer than the programming, like by far. The programming, the mapping, and the program, from the time those lights are done and plugged in and powered up, from that point, when we start to program, it's going to take 10, 15 minutes, and you're going to be playing with it just like I am here. That's how simple and easy. So, if you have that set up, then if you have it hung, then I can come in with the iPad and show everybody all the capabilities, all the different features, because there's a lot in here that we're not even getting.
Well, so I'm going to be honest. Like, part of the reason why I haven't done a lot of Twinkly with my homeowners is because I'm a little worried about the changeover. Like, once it's tied to my phone, I sometimes a little nervous to try to get it paired over to the homeowners because it's stuck to my phone. I don't know how to. So is Twinkly Plus a lot easier to do a handoff to a homeowner?
Man, I'm glad you brought that up. There was a firmware update that just happened over the last month or two. And what this does is in your app, and it's hard to see mine because it's, we're doing this here, but at the very top, you see the words Gray Lights. My name's Gray. That's the installation. I can tap a button and I can create a new installation, and I can assign users to that installation. So you don't have to worry about, ideally, yeah, I think it's best if you're setting something up, if you want to program it, if you can use the customer's iPhone or iPad to do the initial setup, that's great. But I understand also that sometimes they're just not home and you got to get it set up. So if you got to use your own device, you can create that installation, and then you can hand that installation off and make the homeowner the owner of that.
Okay, that sounds a lot cooler. That sounds kind of like when we were doing the Minlian with the Mesh Tech handoff, where you can first set it up in your phone, then hand it off to the homeowner.
Yeah.
But this one, I think, so when you're here, people are going to get practice because we're going to have multiple people with phones, and they're all going to have to try to program to their phone. And so they can get the practice. I think that's a big hang up for a lot of installers. They get nervous because if they can't do it right themselves, they don't want to look like an idiot to the homeowner when they're trying to pass it off to the homeowner.
And I'm glad you mentioned that too, because I wanted to stress one point here for all of you guys. I mentioned the support, answering the phone, providing the free training. Also, we'll give you samples. All right. We'll send you a sample. I'll send you a controller and a string of lights and let you play with it, so you can practice. It's important that you give it a shot and you know what you're doing. But I can't tell you how many demos I've done with a string of lights rolled up into a ball, because I can set that ball on the table and map it, believe it or not, as a ball, and make snowfall go this way and stripes go that way just on a ball of lights. So you can do a full demo like that, or if you want, you can spread it out on the table or decorate a bush or a tree real quick for the customer. But I'll give you a sample so that you can become efficient with it and really show off the magic of this. In addition, I have a tremendous number of videos, brochures, digital asset that you can have to show your customers, to share it with them. Fred, maybe I'll give you I can share the link with you. But every product, I got them broken down into folders: icicles, curtains, branch trees.
That's what I don't think people know, that icicles exist with Twinkly. That was a new product last year. It came out kind of late, so I don't think the market's really aware. But I think icicles this year are going to be huge.
It's a huge product. I mean, they look great. They hold up well. Again, it's the same IP65 stuff, but when you've got that on the gutters and the bushes down below, and you're synchronizing them and making them work together, it's a tremendous visual, and it sets that house apart in the neighborhood, no doubt about it.
So I got this guy, Brian Jensen. He's like, these classes are going to keep me on there. Hey, Brian, have you already signed up for a class this year? Because if you already signed up for another class, you can come to the Twinkly class. We won't charge you up in Connecticut. So if you already signed up for some other class, anyone else that ends up watching this, if you already signed up for a class this year and you already paid, feel free to come to the Twinkly training. We just kind of run the trainings. Like, pretty much we're just trying to pay for the overhead to run it. So we're not trying to make any money off the training. So yeah, if you already signed up for another training this year, feel free to come out and get your hands on Twinkly. I really think, especially being with Rich and him getting to, if you got any questions, he'll be there. He went to Denver. Yeah. Come on out to Connecticut. We're in 3 weeks. We're going to be doing just Christmas light basics, but I actually got some new marketing stuff that's working, I think, a little bit better for getting leads. So I think we're going to explain a little bit of that for the Christmas light side of things. But also the Twinkly, I'm trying to get very well experienced with it. So that way I'm willing, or I can one up my competition and have another tool in my tool belt to talk to homeowners about, and commercial, because you never know. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That is really awesome. What effect is that? I don't remember seeing that on my.
There's some new ones, and it's a great thing because pretty much every season or holiday, we try to release a handful of effects. Sometimes it's based around a new product or something, and we want to have effects that would look really cool on that product. But right in the app, it's so simple. There's a Twinkly store, and in that Twinkly store, you can go in and download new effects. Coolest thing is the app is free. All of the effects are free. Change it, edit it, create new ones. It's all free. So right now they're doing a big thing for Euros 2024. So all the soccer teams over in Europe, and they've got all different team colors and flags and different things like that. All the different countries are in here. So all their flags for all these different countries that I guess are going to be competing, all in there to support the European soccer teams and all that. So that's pretty cool. And there'll be stuff for, 4th of July. There's always some new releases there. There'll be stuff for Halloween. Halloween's another big one that people forget about, but a lot of people decorate for Halloween, and we've got some really cool stuff in here for that as well.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I think that I'm pretty pumped. I definitely want to learn a lot more about it. We're also going to have Spencer Clays here, which he is a pretty big guy on social media. So he definitely is, we're going to be videoing some of this, and I wouldn't be surprised. He's going to make some pretty cool videos, I'm sure, with it. So that's like what he does. So
Cool.
This stuff is definitely makes, when you see some viral videos towards the end of the year, I mean, a lot of times Twinkly can be a part of that, or it definitely has the in the ingredients to help make viral videos, because there's just stuff. Wow, that's Halloween, huh?
Yeah.
That was a skull.
Pretty slick. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and so if you're a bigger Christmas light installer, most of my installs are up before Halloween. So yeah, you can have people put this stuff up. And then actually, I have a customer right now I know that would want this. I'm going to actually talk to them right now, because they're asking me what kind of lights they could put up, because they're bigger into Halloween. They just have Christmas lights, and they do that, but they go all out for Halloween. So I could put this on their house, teach them how to use it, and then they could use it for Halloween.
Instantly changing colors, green and white, red and white, pink and white.
Man, if I put that like on my trailer, on one side of my trailer when I'm driving around, I can explain it to homeowners a lot better. That would be a pretty cool way. I don't know. I'd have to get power back there, but you don't have to have Wi-Fi. You can do it just from your phone's Wi-Fi if you're in the middle of nowhere, right?
If you're doing one controller, yeah, you can connect directly to it if it's just one. Yeah. We've lit up all kinds of things, giant pickup trucks. We've lit up a Mini Cooper that was just covered, like they punched holes. I'm actually doing a project for a guy right now who's going out to Running Man, and they're doing a giant golf cart that's getting converted into like Santa's sleigh. I got to do something. Lighting the whole thing up for that. Like, it's nuts.
Yeah, you just need to have a converter, and then you got power. Yeah, one controller. So one controller, you could do 1,000 lights. Well, wait, you could do 4 curtains too then, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, awesome. All right, well, I think we're going to wrap it up there unless anyone else has got a question they want to ask. But yeah, this is pretty cool. The unfortunate thing is most Christmas light installers, they don't think about Christmas till the season's upon them. Yeah. And they're going to have a tough time trying to insert Twinkly products into the lineup if they don't get this stuff figured out now. So,
well, and that's how we're doing this now and doing the training in July. And also, look, it's an opportunity. It's a revenue stream that, just like you said, guys don't think about it till November. Yeah, well, guys who want to add something to their revenue stream will start saying, hey, I'm out here working in your house now. Man, these S14s would look great on your back deck. We want to give it a shot. Let me show you how it works.
Oh, yeah. And I do think by the spring, I would think that Twinkly probably will have it where they can pair that in with the roof lights that we have for the Vibrant Nights that are the Minlian roof line. I don't know. I would suspect, I would even think this year it's still possible to come out, but I would think by the spring they should have it hammered out. So
yeah. I know they're working on it. I know they're all the big brains in Italy, and they're all working it out.
Yeah, it's more than just people in the U.S. Twinkly is huge. Like where your headquarters is out of Italy, is that
in Italy? Yeah, yeah.
So that's why you guys work year round, because every time I see your products are coming out with more and more stuff, and it's getting more advanced. But
it is. I mean, look, a huge part of our business. Obviously, holiday season is big for us. I mean, that's obviously going to be the biggest part of our company, but we do a tremendous amount January through October with this outdoor living and lawn and landscape lighting. We do a huge business in live events, whether it's retail spaces, weddings, corporate events, pop-up things, townships and municipalities. They're using these lights, restaurants and bars and venues. I mean, I'm doing of the, however many tens and tens and tens and tens of millions that the company's doing, probably a third of that number is happening January through October in everyday lighting for all.
I'm trying to push more into wedding lights right now. So I
Yeah.
guess when you're here, you can explain to me more. How would I pitch that to a wedding planner? Like what the twinkly nets?
Man. Well, there's other products that we offer. There's a product called Light Wall, which is 9 feet tall, 8.5 feet wide, with 1,120 lights sewn into it. It comes on an aluminum frame, kind of a pipe and drape type of thing. And it was designed to be sort of a backdrop for a DJ or a band or a karaoke owner or a musician. And you can link multiples together to create a giant wall of lights. And now it becomes sort of a focal point for a dance floor or the backdrop for a live performance synchronized to music. Sometimes it's like my brother-in-law, he has a tent rental business and he has a tremendous amount of weddings. And instead of just hanging those white S14 bulbs, he says, hey, here's an elevated lighting package. If you'd like to have the lights match the bridesmaids' dresses, let's try Twinkly. And after dinner, you can touch this button and the lights will all just dance with the DJ music while everybody dances. All in one product by touching a button. You can match corporate colors, college colors, bridesmaids' dresses. And then when it's time to dance, tap the music button and the whole place turns into a nightclub. So
he's using S14s. Is that
he uses S14s? He actually uses the regular string lights and creates canopies. He just runs a piece of aircraft cable down and he creates sort of a canopied rooftop about 6 inches apart with regular string lights. I have video of this stuff in an outdoor.
You would have to have how many? You would have to have a lot of controllers and twinkly lights to do that.
It depends how crazy you want to go. But like I say, this is the type of environment where not many people say, you know what, give me the most basic thing you can, or give me the stuff that everybody's been doing for years. That'll be fine. Nobody says that. What's new? What's exciting? What's custom? Okay. Can you match it to my event? Can you customize it to what I need? My daughter wants the lights to match her dress. My daughter's going to get it on her wedding day. That's just the way it is.
I did buy one of those light walls from you, but so I need to build a frame for it, or you guys sell a frame?
Frame comes with it.
Oh, I haven't opened it up.
Frame comes with it, and it's huge, man.
It's huge. That can pair right in with my S14 lights also?
Yeah.
And the bush lights? Okay, so we'll probably set that up too. I think anyone that gets hands-on experience and plays around with this stuff will probably walk away much more confident.
And it's a mindset. It's a mindset. I mean, we get comfortable with what we know, and I understand that. It's easy. It's systematic, but you got to put it in the mindset of the customer. Hey, could you give me the same lights that every house on the street has? Like, who says that? I mean, sometimes maybe, but sometimes they say, you know what, man, I want to go crazy this year. I want to Clark Griswold. Man, I got just the thing for you.
Well, the thing is that so there's more and more people coming out with RGB lights, and they're just kind of dummy lights with the little remote.
Sure.
And they do random patterns, but Twinkly is true RGB. And the one thing, you don't have to be a computer programmer to figure out how to use it. They fixed it also. You just have an app now. Take a picture of it, and it maps the whole house. So
and you'll see with those products, it's cool. I mean, they can do chasing patterns that go left and right. But if you've got those lights running up a roof peak, ask them to make a line come straight down. It doesn't exist. It exists here because we pixel map it and we capture those pixels where they sit. So I can make the lights go this way, not just left and right and chasing up and down. That's cool. And if you're just putting warm white, I get it. It's a cool thing. But if you want to have those lights truly go from top to bottom or from inside out, this is the product that does it.
Wow. Awesome. Well, I'm pumped. I can't wait to find out more. Honestly, I know I've been talking to some other people and some of them are like, man, it's too much work. It's too hard, too complicated. It's like, well, I'm going to figure it out because
we'll figure that out and we'll solve that. I guarantee you, if you tune in, if you sit with me one day for 30 minutes, I'll send you a free sample. Sit with me for a few minutes. Actually, you probably won't even call me because you're going to figure it out in about 5 minutes. And you're going to go, man, I can't believe I ever let this buy me because it's not complicated. Little Susie Homemaker's buying it off the shelf at Bed Bath & Beyond and making it work on her Christmas chimney down there, we can handle it. Trust me.
Well, the thing that's got me a little puzzled is the networking them without Ethernet cord. So we
Piece
get that
of
figured
cake.
out. I'll be because
Piece
if
of
I'm
cake.
doing installs, they're not little tiny houses. So
Piece of cake. Piece of cake.
awesome. All right, well we're gonna probably end there. So you guys
Yep.
have any questions? Just go ahead and send me a DM.